What's up, everybody? You can call me SC, and today we are redesigning some of my old D&D characters. Now, I want to preface this by saying not all of these characters are my characters, technically, at least not originally. So, in high school, I was part of a D&D campaign with a couple of theater friends, and it was about as chaotic as you could imagine. But as the resident note taker and artist, I had this big dream of creating this comic series detailing all of our adventures. I got one page done. At the time, my skill level was just not where I wanted it to be to make a full comic. So instead, I drew out some of the scenes I thought would be really funny, or some of the scenes I just really personally enjoyed. And I thought, after finding these files, I was like, I should redraw them. And I should redesign the characters. So that's what I did. All the characters I've given new backstories, new designs, new everything, just because part of me does not, I don't have the notes. I don't have the notes from the old characters. I don't have their backstories or anything like that. So I just, full makeover, redid them. I did not make any of the characters' backstories or their designs canon to the D&D 5e rules. That's the system that we were using, but there was a lot of homebrew elements. So if something's off in the backstory, just leave it alone. Just let's have a little fun here instead of being a dick about it. I don't know. But if that's what you're into, if you're excited, then let's get into it. Gerard Path is a failed bard turned warlock. Growing up, Gerard always had a love for music, but never the skill nor the patience to learn. As he got older, he began to grow bitter until one particular evening he was booed off stage. In a drunken, shameful rampage, Gerard prayed to any being that would listen, begging for some sort of power. And one entity heard. A laugh surrounded Gerard, making his skin prickle. He spun around, searching for the voice in a drunken stupor, but as far as he could tell, there was no one.
What is it you're begging for, no?
The voice asked. Gerard swallowed. I'm tired of them laughing at me. I'm tired of being looked down on. He was quiet for a moment. Through gritted teeth, Gerard said, I don't want this anymore. I want to be powerful. I want them to look upon me and rue the day they laughed.
If power is what you want,
The voice said.
then that is what I can give you. For a price, of course.
Gerard took the deal without hesitation. In exchange for the being's power, Gerard would be on a quest to find the being's other half. And once found, Gerard would become a host for the combined soul. Yeah, so Gerard Path is obviously a play on Gerard Way. This was my enemy. He was such a thorn in the side of the party. He was our resident murder hobo. Just overall not a great guy. Morally, at least. Very entertaining. Very fun to kind of watch. I don't remember what his original character alignment was, but he played chaotic neutral. If it didn't benefit him in some way, it really didn't matter to him what he did. You're going to see a lot of art. I think every single piece of art involves Gerard, because he was constantly the main conflict of our campaign. Like, if there wasn't a big bad, it was Gerard or it was the rogue who was stirring up all of the trouble. It was always those two. Nanrasvim Okur was fated to fight. She was born into a smuggling ring, one of 20 dragonborn raised to serve the high class. However, Nanrasvim wasn't the type to stand idly by while others are being abused and taken advantage of. She became a shield of sorts for her peers, taking the brunt of the abuse, until one day, the smuggling ring was busted by a group of paladins. They stormed the building, and as her peers cowered in a corner, Nazravim stood strong. As the group rushed the room, they stopped in their tracks and stared down at the dragonborn, determined to defend her peers with only a broom and a dream. One paladin knelt down to her level, offering her a gentle hand. She stared at him, but did not move, watching his every move with a careful precision.
You don't have to be scared,
he said.
Not anymore.
She lowered her broom, the group of paladins ushering the group of dragonborn out of the smuggler's den, took them back to their base of operations, and Nan Razvin took quickly to the paladins that came and went. As soon as they came back from a mission, Nazravim would ask them question after question, desperate to be a part of the team in any way she could. And when she became of age, she began to train with the paladins. She ate with them, trained with them, prayed with them, until she became one of them. So, lots of background on this character. First of all, don't remember what her original name was. I don't remember. I think it was Jessica, but I don't know that for a fact. I wouldn't swear upon that in a court of law. So I just gave her a new name. Honestly, I feel really bad because I don't know anything about this character originally. She, like, I don't know anything about her backstory. Her player was kind of more reserved, and she played that way. Much to her own detriment, because the dungeon master was so focused on the chaos the rogue and Gerard were causing that I feel like her character kind of got lost to the wayside, and it really sucked because she was a cool person, and I think it was really cool that she was a dragonborn, but she just didn't make a lot of risky moves, and because of that, she was kind of forgotten in the campaign. The main bit with her was that she could not make a perception roll to save her life. It was really funny. At some point in the campaign, we got her glasses just to help her make any perception roll at all. And I think it's kind of funny to have a paladin who just doesn't notice it. I really liked redesigning her. I don't know why my brain always saw her as a red dragonborn. I think I just really like the color red. I think I just really like the color red. So I made her red, and I gave her a javelin, and you're gonna find out here in a moment why I gave her a javelin. But basically, I don't remember what her class was. I don't remember what her fighting style was. I just remember this moment that I'm about to redraw. So in this drawing, you can see Nanrazvim kind of not shot putting, javelin throwing Gerard, and this came in the middle of a battle with one of the big bads. She had lost her weapon, so she asked the DM, "Can I throw the gnome?" So here I remember drawing this piece and having such a hard time with the with just drawing a dragonborn, right? Because dragonborns, they're not like people. They don't have the same features or skeletal structure as people. So the first time I drew Nanrazvim, I was like, what the fuck do I do? I don't know. I've never seen this. I'm just gonna use shapes. As you might have seen in the redesign, when I was redesigning her character, I used alligators and I used reptiles, these like large reptiles with these large kind of snouts as a reference, because it's kind of what a dragon is, but like warm instead of cold. Are dragonborns cold-blooded? I don't know. But anyways, with this redraw, I really wanted to make it a little bit more dynamic, especially with the posing. I feel like the original drawing was really stiff at the time, and that was just because I wasn't used to drawing characters full body. I do wish that I had given Nanrazvim a tail or wings or more dragon-like features, but I still think she looks really cool. Kind of designed the way she's designed, and I think having Gerard struggling rather than just allowing himself to be tossed is a lot funnier in the story. I think in real life, Gerard's player was like, okay, sure. I like this moment because it was a standout move for Nazravim's player. She didn't make a lot of risky moves, she didn't do a lot of silly goofy things, but this was really silly and really goofy. And I just really hope it was cathartic for her, because the two players of each character, they are siblings, and Nazravim's the older sister. So I think it was really cathartic for her to be able to throw her brother, and I hope she really enjoyed it, because I enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. Drag Hans was born to two loving parents in a small village 60 or so miles from the capital city. He often kept himself busy, playing in the woods on the village's edge. Until one day, he wandered a little too far into the forest. He could hear whispers, murmurs of something he couldn't quite place. Though he knew he should be scared, there was something about the voices that made him feel safe. He followed them until he came across a clearing, and in the center was a crystal ball. With hesitance, he approached the crystal ball as it glimmered and shone in the sunlight. He reached out to it, but before his hand could reach the ball, a sharp
Halt.
stopped him in his tracks. He searched for the source, but saw nothing and no one.
You know not what you are agreeing to, child.
The voice whispered.
This crystal holds more power than you could ever imagine. It is not a toy to be trifled with.
He stared at the crystal long and hard, taking in what the voices said. Though there was a small part of him that told him to turn back, to pretend he didn't see the crystal. His gut told him that he should not be afraid. I'll be careful with it, Drac said, as if asking permission from the voice. There was a long silence filled with the sounds of animals in the forest. Then a laugh, not malicious nor evil, just surprised, perhaps charmed.
Careful.
The voice said, as if pondering the word from the young boy.
But there is a price that comes with this type of power, child. Are you willing to pay it?
Drag shook his head slightly. I don't have any money.
Money? Oh, no, my dear child. This cost is far more precious than any coin. Perhaps you're not quite.
If I can do it, Drag insisted. Really, I can. Silence followed once more. Drag looked around, scared that his outburst offended the voice. Then, barely above a whisper, he heard,
Then take what is yours.
His hand grasped the orb, causing a great explosion. He shut his eyes, feeling the skin on his face begin to burn. His head spun, but when he opened his eyes, it was as if nothing had happened. Despite that, his skin still burned, but there was a new feeling. It was as if something new prickled at his fingertips. He ran back to his village to tell his family what had happened, to show them the crystal. But when he got to his village, a chill ran down his spine. It was empty. No bakers in their shops making bread, no weaponsmith at his forge making new blades. Drek's home, which had once been filled with warmth, sat cold and untouched. He felt his chest fill with sorrow and fear. Where could they have gone? It didn't look like the village had been ransacked, and yet there wasn't a soul left. Drac sat on his bed and waited. Maybe they'd be back. But days passed, and finally Drag knew he could wait no longer. He grabbed a few things from his home, tucking the crystal into a pocket inside his vest, before making his way to the capital city. There, he was taken in by a changeling wizard, who took him under her wing. She taught him everything he knows about magic, and one day, he set off with a group hired to find the lost amulet. From that day on, he became an adventurer. So if you couldn't tell by the lengthy backstory, Drag was my character. He was my little boy. He was my little guy. I love Drag. Originally, I didn't know how I wanted to play him, but knowing myself, I knew he was going to be some sort of good. I originally marked him as chaotic good, but I played very neutral good. I was willing to break the law if necessary, but a lot of times it just wasn't necessary. I wasn't going to steal shit from random people. I wasn't going to kill people for no reason. That sucks, man. Drag is probably the character I've designed the most, and it's because he's my character. In his original design, he was very simplistic. I didn't know how to draw clothes very well, so I was like, what is the simplest way I can put clothes on this man? So as you can see in the original, Drag is very simplistic. He's got his little blue shirt and his little green pants and his little brown boots. I'd just taken a color palette off of Pinterest and I was like, good enough. But then when I redrew it a second time, I was like, okay, let's make it a little more fun. Let's actually make him a character. Let's put clothes on him that makes sense. So I made Drag a warlock. I made him a warlock orc, not knowing at the time that people didn't like orcs. People really didn't like warlocks, and I didn't know that. So my ass, when I rolled, I was like, let's put my good rolls on charisma and intimidation and things like that. So he was an orc. He was a half orc warlock who just had really high charisma. So every time he faced orc racism, I was like, what if we were nice to me? What if we were nice to me? And it worked. It worked most of the time. But this image, which I call Stupid Gnome, that was originally the title for the comic. Because fucking stupid ass gnome caused so much fucking problems. But I called this particular scene Stupid Gnome because this was the very first instance of Gerard not only kind of doing things that only benefited him, but also kind of betraying the group. But we were all trying to get horses because we were trying to get to this lodge that was in the forest, and Gerard was small enough he could just buy a mastiff and just ride a mastiff instead of a horse. We're trying to figure out stuff for the horse, and then the player starts whispering with the DM, and that's never a good thing. It's never a good thing when another player is just whispering with the DM. So we're trying to figure out how we're gonna split the cost of horses. He goes and he does this thing, and we pay for the horses, and we're like, where the fuck is Gerard? So earlier that day in the game, earlier in the in-day game, Gerard and the rogue had gotten kicked out of a general store because they were talking about stealing in the general store. So they got kicked out. I think it might have been another person who might have gotten kicked out. I don't know, but I know for a fact those two got kicked out. And Gerard has a penchant for vengeance. So while we were trying to figure out horses, he was going back to burn down the to burn down the general store. So he breaks in, he gets some rope so that he can tie up his mastiff, right? And my neutral good was like, we can't let that happen. This is just a guy who was trying to run his general store. So I had high athletics. I sprint back to the fucking general store and I pick him up before he can start a fire. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What are we doing? And so this is that scene. I can't draw dogs. I can't do it. I don't know what it is about dogs that are just so hard to draw. I think part of it's just I've never drawn very many dogs. So I was like, mastiff. How do I draw a mastiff? And I think how I do it in the redraw is really, I think it makes more sense. I don't necessarily like how I drew the mastiff, but it's better than the other times. Also, it makes more sense because why would you Drag is so much bigger than both a mastiff and a gnome. So you just pick it up under his arm and then fucking gnome. But I think my goal with this redraw was to really get the it's very similar to the Javel Gnome, where I wanted to show more of their character dynamic and more of their kind of relationship and that like antagonistic relationship they had with each other. I also wanted to put more effort into the background and into the lighting because I remember when I first drew the original drawing, I didn't have a very good grasp on like either of those. So I really kind of wanted to show off and like make more of an effort to storytell with both the background and the lighting. So I hope you enjoyed it. I love looking at this drawing. The only thing is like the mastiff, but other than that, I had a really good time. But that's all for this video. If you liked it, you might like some other stuff on my channel. I'm going to be doing more videos, but leave a comment down below if you want to see more D&D redesigns. My light went out, so it's a good thing I'm wrapping this up. If you like this video, tell me in the comments, what else would you like to see? More D&D videos, more OC videos, more, like, what would you like to see? And thank you to my partner, Sunny, at Writing Bokeem for doing some of the extra voices in this video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you losers in the next video. Bye!